The bell above the gym door rang softly as Zara stepped inside. Her shoes tapped against the mats, clean but worn. She carried no fancy gears, just a simple gym bag over her shoulder, a water bottle, and nerves wrapped tightly in her chest. Place smelled of sweat and rubber. Men in rash guards and grappling shorts were already stretching on the mats. Some were warming up, some were chatting loudly. All heads turned when they saw her. A woman, alone, black, quiet, and clearly not from around here. Zara offered a soft nod to no one in particular, trying not to look at their stares. She walked to the corner, found a small empty space, and began unzipping her bag. From the office upstairs, Coach Ethan glanced down through the glass window. He was in his mid-40s, built like a mountain, with a tight crew cut and eyes that missed. Nothing. He didn't smile. He never did. Zara removed her hoodie. Underneath, she wore a plain black rash guard and simple leggings. No sign of a school or team. The whispers started quickly. Who is she? She's not going to last 10 minutes. Probably just trying to get fit. One of the senior white belts chuckled. Bet she's never even rolled before. Zara heard it all, but she said nothing. She sat cross-legged on the mat and waited. Quietly for class to start, the warm-up coach, Ethan, walked onto the mat with a loud clap. Line up. Everyone formed rows. Zara stood at the end, jumping jacks. Go, they began. The warm-up. 20 jumping jacks. Then push-ups. Then sprawls. Then shoulder rolls. Sweat began to show on most faces. Zara kept pace, breathing steady, eyes focused. One of the younger blue belts, Jake, nudged his friend. Look at her, she's still going. His friend shrugged. Probably trained yoga. Wait till we start real drills. Coach Ethan watched her silently. Still no smile. Partner up drill today is side control escape, the coach said. Get with someone your size. Let's go. Zara looked around. No one moved toward her. People started pairing off fast friends with friends, higher belts with each other. Zara stood awkwardly alone, holding her belt in one hand. A moment later, Coach Ethan pointed at a tall, muscular guy, Derek Pear. With her, Derek made a face. Her coach said nothing, just walked away. Zara nodded politely. Hi. Derek didn't answer. They began drilling. Derek was rough, slamming down into side control with more force than needed. But Zara didn't complain. She focused, moved, adjusted. Then she escaped, smoothly. Technically, he paused, tried. Again. She escaped again. Faster this time. Derek sat up. Where'd you learn that? Zara just said, my dad. He smirked. He must have been a YouTube coach. The first SPAR after drills. Coach Ethan clapped. Let's roll. Light sparring. 3-minute rounds. Pairs formed again. This time, even Derek walked away from Zara. Coach pointed again. Taylor. With her. Taylor, a cocky brown belt, sighed. Fine. He walked over and said, Don't worry, I'll go easy. Zara nodded, tying her belt again. She stepped onto the mat across from him. Slap hands. Bump fists. Begin. Taylor went in for a quick sweep. Zara countered instantly. His eyes widened. He tried again, faster. She stopped it. Controlled the grip, slid into guard. Then, the moment that shocked, the room Zara swept him and passed his guard, like it was second nature. Taylor grunted, tried to scramble. Zara flowed around him, took his back, and gently locked in a choke but didn't finish it. She whispered, You said light? He tapped early anyway. The room was silent. The LOOK says Zara stepped off the mat, sweat on her brow, but calm in her heart. The whispers returned, but different now. That wasn't luck. Did you see her timing? She tapped a brown belt. Zara went to the side, sat again, and opened her water bottle. She still hadn't smiled. Coach Ethan walked past her, paused, looked down. You trained before? She looked up calm. A little. He didn't respond. This time, didn't walk away either. Closing time after class, Zara helped fold the mats. No one asked her to. Taylor walked past, grabbing his bag. He didn't say a word. Neither did Derek, but Coach Ethan called to her from the office stairs. You coming tomorrow? Zara simply nodded. As she stepped out the gym door into the cold night air, she paused and took one long breath. This time, she smiled. Just a little. One coach looked her up and down, and walked away without a word. The next morning, the gym was colder than usual. The air smelled like sweat, cleaning spray, and ego. Zara walked in at exactly 7:55 a.m., 5 minutes. Early, just like her father had always taught her. She wore the same black rash guard and plain leggings. No patches, no sponsors, no name, just her. The usual group was already warming up. Some of them noticed her again. Some pretended not to. But they all remembered what she did the day before, and so did Coach Ethan. The Wade Loloke from upstairs. Ethan stood in the office window again, his arms crossed, his face like stone. He watched as Zara took her spot in the same corner of the mat. Quiet, focused, still here. He mumbled to himself. Beside him, assistant coach Lisa leaned on the doorway. That's the one who tapped. Taylor? Yeah, she's got hands. And calm, Lisa said. Ethan nodded once. We'll see if she can take pressure. The pairing Gamea's warm-ups ended. Ethan stepped onto the mat. Sparring rounds today. Positional control. I want clean technique, no ego. People started moving, looking for partners. Zara waited again. She didn't beg. She didn't speak. She just stood still. Lisa walked over this time. You'll go with me. Some heads turned. Lisa was a purple belt, one of the few women in the gym known for her pressure and speed. Zara nodded. Okay, PRE? SURE, they bumped fists. The round started. Lisa shot for a takedown dash fast. Zara sprawled. Smooth. Lisa turned it into a scramble. Zara flowed with Herc, like water. She stayed under control. She never forced anything. Coach Ethan watched. Silent. After 30 seconds, Lisa had Zara inside control. Then, slowly, Zara framed, bridged, and escaped. Right into guard. She didn't attack. She just controlled. Calm, clean, sharp. When the bell rang, Lisa smiled as they stood up. She's different. She whispered to Ethan as she passed. The doubt. GROWS, the boys noticed. Taylor kept glancing over. Derek avoided eye contact. Zara rolled again. Then again, each time her technique was clean. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't wild. She just moved with quiet power. Jake, the loud white belt from yesterday, leaned over to Derek. What if she's better than us? Derek laughed nervously. She's just lucky. It'll crack eventually. Coaches CHLL. ONG after class. Ethan called out. Zara, stay back. She walked over, towel in hand. You're clean, he said. Thank you. But this gym, it's tough. No soft rounds here. People go hard. I noticed, she replied. He stared at her, his eyes searching for something. You said your dad trained you? She nodded. At home, every day. For years. What rank was he? She paused. No belt. But he didn't need one. Coach Ethan raised an eyebrow. Interesting. Didn't smile. He just said, come tomorrow. Bring your mouth guard. Then he turned and walked away. The FLASHBA CCA that night. Zara sat on her small apartment floor, stretching in silence. A single framed photo stood on her shelf. Her father, in camo pants, holding her as a child in a dusty garage gym, control.com, clean. That's what he used to say. Zara closed her eyes and whispered, I'm still listening, Dad. The others WHISPR. Meanwhile, in the locker room, the talk continued. She's good. But she hasn't faced a black belt yet. The coach is paying too much attention to her. What if she's just another viral clip? No one noticed Lisa step inside. She looked at them all and said just one sentence. She tapped Taylor on day one. How many of you did that? Silence. She's not ready. That's what they all said until she faced the black belt. Zara arrived early again. This time, the gym was already alive with quiet tension. The mats were fresh, air cool, but something felt different today. Eyes followed her, some curious, some jealous. A few quietly impressed. She didn't speak. She bowed slightly and stepped onto the mat like always calm. Focused, invisible, but upstairs behind the glass, Coach Ethan had already made a decision. Today would be the real test. The new GOY's warm-ups finished. A man walked in late broad. Shoulders, cauliflower ears, and a worn black belt tied around his waist like a flag of war. His name was Vince. A visiting black belt. Former state champion. Grappling record. Brutal. Tape-outs in under a minute. Known for breaking egos. He shook hands with Ethan. "I heard you've got a rising star," he said, smirking. Coach didn't answer. He just nodded toward the mat. "You'll see." Me and his sparring rounds began. Vince stood with arms folded, watching the rolls. Then Coach Ethan raised his voice. "Zara, Vince, you're up." The whole room went silent. Taylor stopped mid-dash stretch. Lisa looked concerned. Derek whispered he's going to crush her. Zara stood slowly. No panic, no fear. She bowed to her partner, stepped onto the mat, and tightened her belt. Vince grinned. "You ready, rookie?" Round O&E, they bumped fists. The room held its breath. Vince shot in fast and powerful. Zara moved like mistlight on her feet, reacting in time, but he grabbed her and dragged her down. He mounted her, heavy, dominant, pressure on her chest like a truck. Everyone expected her to tap, but Zara kept breathing slow. Calm, Zara just nodded. She bridged once, failed twice. Failed. Third time she hooked his ankle, spun under him, escaped the room, gasped. She and SWI's Vince looked annoyed. He reset quickly, tried a knee-cut pass. Zara countered and caught half guard. He pressured harder. Zara dug her elbow, adjusted her hips, swept him from bottom to top. Just like that, now she was on top. Vince grunted. "This ain't yoga, girl." She didn't respond. She just moved, took his back, slid one arm under his chin. Then stopped. The WHISP She had the choke tight, perfect. But she didn't squeeze. Not yet. Instead, she leaned closer and whispered in his ear, "You said I'm not ready." Then she gently tightened. Tap, tap, tap. The room exploded into silence. Rostio and his Taylor's jaw dropped. Derek stood frozen. Jake muttered, "That didn't just happen." Lisa crossed her arms and smiled. Coach Ethan finally cracked a tiny grin. The Exciteaser stood, helped Vince up politely, and bowed. He stared at her, shocked, breathing hard. "Where? Did you learn that?" Zara just said, "My father trained." "Me." He blinked. "What was his rank?" She looked him straight in the eye. "Navy SEAL," and walked away. The gym CHNGA after that role. Everything shifted. People moved aside to let her pass. Some tried to shake her hand. Others stayed, quite afraid to say the wrong thing. She didn't gloat. She didn't brag. She just put on her jacket, picked up her water bottle. It's left like nothing had happened. Final scene as the gym door closed behind her. Coach Ethan spoke quietly to Lisa. "She's not just good." Lisa nodded. "She's dangerous." They smiled to her face, but planned her fall behind her back. Zara's name is now known in the gym, not just known whispered. After tapping a black belt, she became something more than the quiet girl. Some respected her, some were scared. But some wanted revenge, and they weren't going to fight fair. The FTRMATH the next day, Zara came in as usual. No ego, no change in her tone, her walk, or her training. She cleaned her shoes before stepping on the mat, bowed, stretched alone, but the atmosphere had changed. The air was thicker. People smiled more, but not the real kind. She noticed Jake and Derek trained together, but kept glancing her way. Taylor. laughed a little too loud. Someone had taped a note to the bathroom mirror. Let's see how long the lucky girl lasts. She saw it. The INVIT after class. Coach Ethan approached her. Zara, you've got something. She stayed silent, unsure. You ever thought of competing? He asked. Zara blinked. I came here to train. He nodded. There's a regional tournament in 2 weeks. No belts, no divisions, just skill. Zara paused. Her father's words echoed in her mind. Don't chase medals. Chase mastery. Still something inside her stirred. I'll think about it, she said. Coach smiled slightly. Shock a lot more people. The jealous P lay in the locker room. Taylor was waiting not for Zarabet for her plan. She's not special, Taylor said to the others. She's just some military brat with daddy lessons. That choke was a fluke. Derek nodded. Coach is giving her too much attention. Jake leaned in. Then let's fix it. Taylor raised an eyebrow. Fix. Jake grinned. Let's push her till she breaks. The first PUSH next day during drill Zara was paired with Derek. He smiled politely at first. Then he cranked her arm a little harder. Zara winced, but didn't complain. Next round, Jake, he kneed her ribs during a pass. Not illegal, but not clean either. Zara still stayed quiet. Coach Ethan watched. Frowned, Lisa whispered. They're testing her. Let them, Coach replied. After Thierry and Jan, Zara iced her ribs alone near the back. Lisa walked over. You okay? Zara nodded. Yeah. Lisa looked at her, long and thoughtful. You know they're trying to break you. I know, Zara said softly. Lisa waited. Zara didn't cry, didn't complain, just added, I've faced worse. Lisa didn't ask. She just said, if you ever want a different gym. No, Zara interrupted gently. I want to finish what I started. The men, Mawar, why that night, Zara opened an old metal box from under her bed. Inside, her father's dog tags, handwritten note, and a patch that read, No easy days. She held the patch in her hand, remembering the cold mornings, the drills, the sweat in the garage, her father yelling, then hugging, laughing, then pushing her harder. Don't stop when it hurts, his voice echoed. Stop when it's over. The DECISAO in the next morning, Zara walked up to Coach Ethan before warm-ups. I'm in, she said. In what? The tournament. Coach nodded. No big smile, no claps, just a calm. Good. Then he looked around the room and added loudly, Everyone's heir is entering the tournament. I expect you all to train her like you'd train yourself. Nice. Turned, some shocked, some smirking. Taylor looked furious. Zara just walked to the mat like, always quiet, focused. But this time, unshakable. Hook. They offered to help her train, but every move. They taught was a setup. The tournament was now less than 2 weeks away. Zara came early, stayed late, and never missed a class. She was focused.com, but not everyone in the gym wanted her to win. The help Taylor suddenly started being, Nice, Zara. Want to drill together today? She asked sweetly. Zara hesitated but nodded. Derek and Jake also started helping more. You're strong, Jake said. But your armbar defense is weak. Let me show you something, said Taylor. Try this grip. It's better. It's watching from the side. Saw through it. She leaned toward. Coach Ethan. They're feeding her the wrong stuff, she whispered. Ethan nodded. She'll learn. The SETU Paduring rolls. Taylor kept accidentally twisting Zara's fingers. Derek rolled heavy, pressing his forearm across her neck. Zara never complained. She kept moving, kept learning. But the pain was real. Her body ached. She was bruised and sore every night. Yet, she showed up every morning. The private SCSSCON one evening. Coach Ethan called her over. You've been quiet, he said. She nodded. Nothing to say? He tossed her a small key. Back room. Meet me there tomorrow at 6 a.m. Zara blinked. What's in there? Harder training, he replied. The back ROM next morning, Zara entered a smaller room in the back of the gym. No mirrors. No music, just mats, pads, and an old heavy bag. Coach Ethan was already there barefoot, stretching. "No distractions here," he said. "No fake smiles, no fake drills. Just you and the truth. The real lessons B.H. Gonzara trained alone with. Coach now B4 regular. Class. He broke her bad habits. Taught her grip breaking. Taught her breathing under pressure. Taught her how to win against people who didn't want her to. You're not just fighting in the tournament, he told her. You're fighting them too. She nodded. The coups de Urestio in one day, after a long session, Coach sat beside her on the mat. You never told me, he said. Why jiu-jitsu? Zara looked away. My dad trained me. He passed last year. Coach stayed silent. I didn't want medals, she added. I wanted to remember how he made me feel. Strong, brave, Coach just said. Then fight. For that, the PLA, and with only 4 days left before the tournament, Coach made a bold move. No more rolling with Taylor, or Jake, or Derek, he said. You'll drill with Lisa only. Zara didn't ask why. She trusted him now. Lisa smiled when she heard, finally, she said. Let's work. Final CNA. Zara rolled with Lisa Klin, focused. Smooth Taylor stood across the mat, arms crossed, face cold. She's going to lose, she muttered. Jake shrugged. Maybe, or maybe she's going to break all of us. Taylor narrowed her eyes. Not if I get in her bracket. She trained for war. But no one warned her her worst enemy was in her bracket. The day before the tournament, tension filled the gym. Posters had gone up on the walls. The mats were spotless. Everyone was quiet but watching. Zara stretched silently, her focus razor sharp. Every breath, every move controlled. But behind her, Taylor watched and smiled. The whispers began. AGA Shea leaned over to Derek and whispered, Did you see the bracket list? Derek nodded. She's going to face Taylor if she wins the first round. Jake smirked. Taylor's already planning her accident. Coach Ethan passed by. He didn't say anything, but his eyes said he'd heard everything. Bracket Ayano no I'd see him into Coach. Stood in front of the class and held up the paper. Official tournament bracket is posted. Everyone rushed to look. Zara stayed where she was. She didn't need to look. She already knew. She would face Taylor in round 2 if she got there. Lisa looked at her and asked, You ready? Zara nodded, but her hands were shaking. The night bet for Zara sat alone in her room, staring at the patch her father gave her. No. Easy days. Her phone buzzed. It was a voice message. Lisa, don't let her play dirty. You know how to roll clean. You know who you are. Just breathe. I'll be there. Zara smiled weakly. She closed her eyes and imagined the mat. The pressure. The crowd the moment everything would go quiet. The FLA Sachabier Sake. Her mind drifted. Back to the garage where her father taught her how to fall, how to break grips, how to breathe when stuck. You're going to be tested, he once told her. By others, by fear, by pain, even by your own thoughts. He leaned closer, but the real fight is always inside. Tournament day. The day arrived. The gym was packed with people, cameras, coaches, families, nervous athletes, warming up on the mats. Zara wore a plain white GI. No patches, no flashy design. Just quiet confidence. Arrived late, wearing a bright pink GI, laughing, winking at the crowd. Zara watched from the corner, no emotion. Just focus. First ROND. Zara's name was called. Her opponent, a tall, out-loud girl from another gym. Strong, fast, but not ready. Zara played her game slow, late, patient. She let the girl burn out, then swept her, mounted choke, tapped in. Under 90 seconds. The crowd clapped. Some stood. Coach Ethan smiled. Lisa fist pumped silently. Taylor rolled her eyes next. Matisse, the announcer, called again. Zara versus Taylor up next. Zara stood, her face calm, but inside her heartbeat raced. She bowed onto the mat. Taylor met her. In the center, smiling with poison in her voice. You won't walk away from this one, princess. Zara didn't answer. She bumped fists then. The bell rang. This wasn't a match. It was a setup. Everyone knew it except the referee. The air inside the gym was tight. People stopped warming up. Even the crowd got quiet. All eyes were on the mat. Zara versus Taylor, the girl everyone mocked. Versus the girl who started it all? The match. BG and Essara bowed. Calm, focused. Taylor smirked. The referee gave the signal. They circled. Taylor moved first, fast and aggressive. Zara stayed low, hands up. Breathing steady, suddenly Taylor lunged for a grip. She went for a sloppy throw but slipped her leg to trip Zara's knee. Zara fell, but rolled smoothly. Taylor landed on top but didn't advance position. She whispered under her breath, "This is where you break." Dirty TC skis. Taylor started grinding her elbow into Zara's ribs. Hard. Zara winced, but didn't complain. Coach Ethan stood, eyes locked on the match. Lisa yelled from the corner, "Breathe, Zara. Reset." Taylor squeezed harder, then tried to slam her forearm into Zara's neck. The move wasn't illegal. It wasn't clean either. The referee stayed silent. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. They saw it too. The tour on Zara remembered her father's voice. Pain is loud, but stay quiet inside. She blocked Taylor's grip. She trapped Taylor's foot. And then she bridged. A perfect sweep. The crowd gasped. Zara now on top. Full control. Taylor's smirk vanished. She tried to escape, wiggling, kicking, but Zara was calm. She passed guard, mounted Taylor, tried to buck. Zara slipped her arm under a choke setup. Taylor panicked. The tap that didn't HAPP on Taylor clawed at Zara's arm. She looked at the ref eyes wide, but refused to tap. Zara didn't squeeze harder. She waited. Taylor was stuck, breath by breath. Her arms got weaker. Then she tapped. But the referee didn't see it. Zara eased up slightly, looking confused. Taylor took advantage. She raked her fingernails across Zara's face and shoved her. The ref finally jumped in. "Stop! Stop!" Gasps echoed across the gym. The AFTR Matas. Zara backed away, breathing heavy. Blood on her cheek. Coach Ethan rushed in. Lisa ran over. The ref spoke to the judges. Then he turned to the crowd. "Winner's Zara. Submission hold confirmed." The crowd clapped. Some stood. Taylor stormed off without bowing. Someone in the crowd muttered, "She got beat at her own game." Zara stayed on the mat a second longer. She didn't smile, just breathed. In the BACK, Taylor threw her belt into her. Bag Jake followed her. "You all right?" he asked. "She thinks this is over," Taylor snapped. "She's got one more match," Jake said. "Finals?" Taylor paused, then smirked. "Let's make sure she doesn't win that one either." Thought beating Taylor was the battle, but the real fight was waiting in the finals. Zara sat in the warm-up area. Eyes closed, towel over her shoulders. Lisa handed her water. "You good?" Zara nodded slowly, but inside her heart was racing. One match left, one opponent, and one last chance to prove who she really was. The final OPPO and Enta called her name. Final match, Zara versus Alicia Ramos. A murmur moved through the crowd. Alicia was a brown belt from another city. Older, taller, known for breaking people fast. Some said she trained police. Some said she was ex-military. Everyone said the same thing. She didn't play nice backstage. WARNANG coach Ethan walked with Zara toward the mat. He spoke softly. "Alicia's tough, but you've got something she doesn't." Zara raised an eyebrow. "What?" He smiled. "Patience." The SCTUP butt across the mat. Taylor stood near Alicia whispering something in her ear. Lisa saw it and frowned. "That's not fair," she muttered. Coach Ethan watched too, but said nothing. Zara tied her belt, stepped onto the mat, bowed. This was it. Final match. Round BIN, the ref signaled. Alicia rushed in like a storm. No warm-up. No respect. Just war. Zara tried to grip, but Alicia snapped her hand away and slammed her shoulder into Zara's chest. The crowd gasped. The ref didn't call it. Zara dropped to the mat, but spun to guard, holding Owen. Alicia pressed down hard, trying to choke Zara using pure pressure. Zara's ribs screamed, her vision blurred. She looked toward the crowd and saw her dad's old patch in Lisa's hands. No easy days. The COUNTR. Zara dug deep, not with strength, but with memory. She grabbed Alicia's collar, shifted her hips, locked a triangle from below. Alicia paused, realizing the danger too late. Zara squeezed. The pressure grew. The crowd stood up. The TAP. Alicia thrashed, pulled Zara's GI, but Zara held tight, eyes closed, silent, then dash tap, tap, tap. The ref waved it off. Zara let go and fell back, gasping silence. Then the crowd exploded. Cheers, whistles, standing ovation. Lisa screamed. Coach Ethan clapped slowly. Even. Some of the other competitors looked stunned. The MO Zara stood. No smile, no celebration, just quiet strength. She bowed to the mat. The announcer raised her hand. Winner by submission, Zara Owens. In the CROW, Daler stood frozen. Jake beside her. She actually did it, he whispered. Taylor didn't answer. She just stared in. The locker ROM coach Ethan handed Zara her medal. But more than that, he gave her the old gym patch. Her dad, Zara, took it with both hands, held it to her heart, said only one word. Finally, Zara won the match. But what she found, waiting outside the mat, changed everything. The gym was still buzzing. Zara sat quietly on a bench, medal in her hand, towel around her neck. She didn't smile. She didn't cry. She just stared. At the mat where it had all happened, 14 seconds. From insult to victory, the crowd CHNGED people who once mocked her were now pointing at her in awe. She's the one who beat Alicia. No way, she's just a white belt. Where did she even learn that choke? Zara stood up and walked toward the exit. For the first time, people moved out of her way. Taylor's EX site in a dark corner. Taylor picked up her gear in silence. Jake whispered, "She embarrassed you in front of everyone." Taylor didn't speak. She just gripped her belt tighter, then said one quiet word, "It's not over." Back in the locker, ROM Zara wiped the sweat from her face. Lisa entered, smiling wide. "You were unreal out there." Zara looked at her with tired eyes. "I just did what I was taught." Lisa reached into her bag and pulled out a folded note. "Someone left this for you." Zara opened it slowly. Inside, a small photo. Her dad standing in front of the Navy SEAL emblem. And a note. She made it. No signature. Just the message, Zaris. Hand shook. A stranger in the Halaz. Zara walked outside. A tall man in a hoodie waited near the gym door. He stepped forward quietly. "Zara Owens." He asked. She froze. "Yes." He handed her a card. "Naval Combatives. Invitational. We want to see what you can really do." She blinked. He walked away without another word. New beginning. Coach Ethan joined her outside. "You okay?" Zara nodded. Holding the card tight, Lisa stood beside her. "So, you going to do it?" Zara looked up at the sky. After a long silence, she answered, "I didn't come here to win a medal. I came here to prove something." She looked at them both. "I'm just getting started." Zara thought it was over. But the card in her hand opened a door she never expected. Zara sat on her bed that night. The room was quiet, except for the soft sound of rain tapping the window. In her hand, still the black card with bold letters, Naval Combatives, Invitational. She turned it over. On the back, only an address and date. 3 weeks from now. Confusion and fear. Zara stared at it, heart pounding. Why her? She was just a white belt, just a new girl. This event wasn't a school tournament. It was serious private. Military connected. People trained for years to qualify. She looked up at the photo of her dad on the wall. Is this what you meant, Dad? Coach Ethan's off? Fissy, next morning, Zara walked into the gym early. Coach Ethan was reviewing footage on his laptop. He looked up. Surprised you early. She handed him the card. His eyes narrowed. He held it carefully, then leaned back in his chair. This is big, he said. Really big? You knew about it? She asked. He nodded. Only high-level fighters are invited. They test more than skill. They test heart. Zara looked nervous. Not ready. Stood and put his hand on her shoulder. You weren't ready to beat Taylor either. But you did. Taylor's PL, and meanwhile in another gym, Taylor was sparring hard, angry, fast. And reckless Coach Frank shook his head. You're burning yourself out, he warned. I don't care. She's not your enemy anymore, he added. Taylor paused. Then why did she get the invite? She snapped. He froze. You saw it. She nodded. I want in. Training BEGNS back at Zara's gym? Training got intense. Every day grips, throws. Counters. Coach Ethan pushed harder. Lisa helped. Record footage. Zara struggled. Got slammed. Failed chokes. But she didn't quit. The FLASHBACK one night while wrapping her hands. Zara remembered a moment from childhood. Her dad teaching her how to breathe during chaos. He said, the person who controls their breath controls the fight. She closed her eyes, inhaled, exhaled, then trained again. The day arrived. 3 weeks passed. Zara stood outside a plain gray building. Far from town, no crowd. No posters, just a sign. Naval Combatives, testing entry by invitation only. She stepped inside and froze. Across the room, already stretching, was Taylor. Taylor looked up, smirk, and said, Didn't expect me, did you? This wasn't just a match. This was a test, and failure meant more than losing. Zara stood still as the doors closed behind her. The air inside the training hall felt heavy. No music, no cheering, only fighters and silence. Every move echoed, every look felt sharp. She was not here to be liked. She was here to survive. Strange atmospheria. Man in uniform walked to the center. He didn't smile. No handshake. Just one line. Welcome to the Invitational. You were chosen because someone believes you can handle what's coming. He looked. Around the room, there are no belts here. No weight classes. Only instinct, skill, control. Zara swallowed hard. This was not school gym JIU-JITSU. This was war training. Taylor surprised Ian to her wife from across the mat. Taylor locked eyes with Zara. She wore black gloves. Her face was unreadable. Lisa whispered to Zara from behind the door. She's still mad. Zara didn't answer. She just took a breath. The first round, a large whiteboard showed the names. Zara's first opponent, Leela Brown belt. Not Taylor, but close. Coach Ethan stood nearby, nodding. Remember your breath. Remember your base. Zara stepped onto the mat. The unexpected ADTIC caught the bell ring. Lila didn't hesitate. No handshake. No waiting. She shot forward and caught Zara's sleeve, trying to throw. Zara stumbled but rolled out. The coaches nearby made notes. No cheers. Just eyes watching closely. Zara circled, focused. Then dash, snap, she dropped into guard and went for a quick triangle. It missed, but it scared Layla. Zara smirked slightly. Taylor W.H. Staler crossed her arms, was watching the match from a corner. Her coach leaned in. Still thinks she's weak? Taylor didn't blink. She's better, but not good enough. Zara's in. Back on the mat, Zara moved with control. She stopped trying to win fast. She waited, listened. Layla grew tired. Dash aggressive. Zara used it. A sweep, a mount, then an RMBAR. Tap, Zara wins. No one clapped. But one of the instructors gave a small nod, and that meant everything. The Hananoine CAM&T after the round. The head instructor spoke again. Next match, Sarah. Gasps. Even Taylor looked shocked. Zara froze. Lisa whispered, They planned this. They want a storm. Face to face, Zara stepped onto the mat again. Taylor followed slowly. For a moment, they just stared at each other. No words, no noise, just a silent promise between two fighters. Only one walks away respected. Zara thought she had faced Taylor before, but this time, Taylor didn't just want to win, she wanted to break her. The room felt colder. Zara and Taylor stood at opposite ends of the mat. No crowd, no teammates, just silence. And two fighters with a past. Taylor adjusted her gloves. Zara took a slow breath. The bell rang. The first SDRK. Taylor rushed first fast, aggressive. She grabbed Zara's GI and yanked her forward hard. Zara stumbled, but didn't fall. Taylor whispered under her breath, "I'm not losing again." She threw a hip toss. Zara flipped through the air, slammed the mat butt, rolled out. Pain hit her shoulder. But she kept moving. Memories flooded in as they circled. Zara's mind flashed back to that high school tryout. The fake smiles, the cruel whispers, Taylor leading them. Back then, Zara had said nothing. Today was different. Fight gets INTNS. Taylor shot low to Zara. Sprawled counter, tried to choke. Taylor broke free and shoved her down. They reset, then Zara did something bold. She smiled. Just a little, enough to confuse Taylor. "You're not angry?" Taylor asked mid-dash. Grappled. Zara replied, "No, I'm not here for revenge. I'm here for me." Taylor froze for half a second. Zara swept her legs, took the top. Mounted. The room went still. Outside, the MAT coach Ethan stood with arms crossed, eyes locked on every movement. Lisa whispered, "She has her." Another instructor added, "She's controlling the pace." That's rare for a white belt. The breaking pow in Taylor used all her strength to roll Zara off. She escaped, but she was breathing hard now. Zara kept moving, calm, steady. She baited Taylor into rushing in again. Taylor charged Sarah. Stepped aside, grabbed the collar, dropped judo choke, locked. Taylor kicked, struggled, then dash tap just like before. The AFTRMATH. Zara let go gently. Stood up. Taylor stayed on the mat. At the ceiling, she didn't cry, but something had changed in her eyes. The ref lifted Zara's hand. Winner. No celebration, just respect. Even Taylor nodded slowly. No words, but she didn't look away. Mysterious juiced as Zara walked off the mat, she saw someone near the exit. A tall woman in a military jacket. Quiet, watching. Coach Ethan whispered, "She's not press." "That's a scout?" Zara asked. "For what?" He looked her in the eye. "For something bigger than this." Zara thought the match was the final step. But someone in the crowd had been watching for a different reason. Zara sat on the bench outside the training hall. Her fingers trembled, not from fear but from adrenaline. She had won again. But it didn't feel like just a win. It felt like something was opening. The stranger, Arita or Ness, the woman in the military jacket, stepped closer. She was tall, firm, and quiet. Zara looked up. The woman nodded slightly. Zara Wells. The woman reached into her coat, handed her a sealed envelope. Black. Heavy. "There's a program," she said. "It's not public. It's for people who fight for more than themselves." Zara blinked. "What kind of program?" The woman gave a short smile. "You'll see." Then walked away. No explanation, just silence. The ENVY behind a window. Taylor saw the exchange. She couldn't hear what was said, but she saw the envelope. She saw Zara's surprised face, and it burned. Coach Frank walked over. "She earned that," he said softly. Taylor didn't reply. Her pride was still loud, but her heart had started to whisper something else. The talk with Coach Ida Chan later that night. Zara met Coach Ethan at the quiet gym. She handed him the envelope. He opened it, read it slowly, then looked at her with wide eyes. "This is special," he said. "They want you to train at a military combat center. Top security, no press, no social media, only elite hand-to-hand training. International level." Zara sat down, stunned. Why me? Coach smiled. Because you didn't fight for glory, you fought. With honor. That's rare. Lisa's SUP, Poe, or Atiza ran into the room, holding a smoothie. She saw Zara's face and froze. What happened? She asked. Zara showed her the card. Lisa screamed, Oh my God, you're gonna be in like secret mission stuff. Zara laughed nervously. Don't even know if I'm ready. Lisa grabbed her shoulders. You don't need to be ready. You just need to show up. Back at HOM that night, Zara stared at the ceiling. Memories filled her mind. Her dad was teaching her moves in the garage. Her mom whispering, Don't let the world define your strength. All of it had led to this. She closed her eyes and whispered, I'm not done yet. Somewhere else. In a dark room, Taylor opened her phone. She watched the video again the moment she tapped out. Paused it, then deleted it. She stood up, walked to her mirror, and quietly said, I'm not done either. She was invited for her strength. But they had no idea who had trained her or what she had tried to forget. Zara stood at the entrance of the secret training facility. It wasn't a gym. It was a fortress. Guards at the gate. Cameras everywhere. No names. No signs. Just a steel door that opened only after scanning her fingerprint. Inside, the world felt different. Cold floors, white lights, silent instructors. She wasn't just a student here. She was being watched, judged, measured. A room full of FAGHTH. Inside the first training room, there were only 6 people, all wearing black gear. All deadly quiet. One woman in the corner was ex-military. One man had a scar down his cheek. Everyone looked. Focused until Zara walked in. The woman raised her eyebrows. New girl? Zara nodded. A man laughed under his breath. They sent us rookie. Zara didn't respond. She dropped her bag, tied her belt, and stood tall. Her first ASSI GNM and TN instructor walked in, holding a clipboard. Today is not about strength, he said. Today is about discipline. He pointed to Zara. You partner with Maddox. The scarred man stepped forward. He was huge. Muscles like rope. Eyes like stone. Zara bowed. FLACSKS. She touched Maddox's arm to begin the drill. Something triggered in her mind. A voice, firm, deep, familiar. Control their weight, not with anger. With calm. Her father's voice. Suddenly she was a child again. In the garage, barefoot on the mat, learning jujitsu from a Navy SEAL. His face clear, his voice steady. If you ever fight, do it with purpose, never ego. Back to the Dakar Maddox tried. To throw her, Zara flowed with it traversed, took his back, slid into a choke. Maddox struggled. Tapped. The room went still. The instructor raised an eyebrow. Interesting. A whisper of RACOG and ITON after class. One of the senior trainers pulled her aside. You're not just some student, are you? I asked. Zara hesitated. I trained. With someone, she said quietly. Who? Zara looked away. My father. He served. The man nodded slowly. You fight like someone who's seen war, even if you haven't. Back at the DOR on that night, Zara opened the small wooden box she had kept hidden inside a metal photo and a folded flag. Her father's tears welled in her eyes. She had never told anyone here who he was, what he gave up, why she stopped training when he died. But now, she felt him again, not in pain, in purpose. Someone is WATCHING in a control room. Above the training floor, 2 men watched Zara's footage on screen. One said, Do you know who her father was? The other nodded. That's why she's here. Zara had been through pain before, but not like this. This time, the fight wasn't against someone else. It was inside her. The training room was darker than usual. No mats, no partners, just a long corridor. Filled with obstacles, a voice came from the speakers above. Today's test, the wall. Of fire. Zara's eyes narrowed. The instructor explained. You run the gauntlet alone. 10 stages. No breaks. You finish, or you quit. Oh, there's no in between. The first SDH, E-Stage 1, Balance beam over water. Easy. She thought until the platform started to tilt. Wind blasted from the sides. She closed her eyes, steady, step by step. She crossed, stage 2, blindfolded strikes. She was given a stick. To hit targets, she couldn't see, only feel. At first, she missed. Then, remembered her father's voice. Feel the floor. Listen to your breath. Crack. First target. Crack, second. She finished it, but that was just the start. Pain by Elda Spy, stage 5. Her arms were shaking. Her legs felt heavy. She had crawled through wires, lifted weights, fought a dummy 3 times her size, but she didn't stop. Because every time she wanted to quit, she saw his face, her father's. Stage 7. The choke test padded. Fighter came in and put her in a chokehold. Not too tight, but enough to scare. She had to escape. 3 tries only. First try fail. Second dash, almost third time. She slid out, grabbed his arm, flipped him, and stood over him. She didn't scream, didn't celebrate, just breathed. Her mind breaks open on stage. 8 hit harder than all others. She entered a room. It's filled with smoke, flashing lights, and voices. Real voices. Whispers from her past. Girls laughing. She thinks she can fight. Too soft. Too quiet. Her dad's dead. She's nothing. Zara fell to her knees, covered her ears. No. But it kept going, until Zara. A calm voice. Her father, not in her head, in her heart. You are enough. Zara stood, walked through the smoke, didn't stop. The final WAO, stage 10. A high wall. Ropes no help. Her arms burned. Her legs ached, but she jumped, fell, jumped. Again slipped. Third. Tri-hands found the edge. She pulled and climbed. Silence at the top. The top, she looked down. The entire facility was visible, and everyone was watching. From below, the instructor gave a slow, respectful nod. Time. 24 minutes, fastest today. No cheers, just quiet respect. Someone new, arrive SAS. Zara stepped down. She noticed someone waiting at the door. She froze. Lisa, from the old gym, holding her phone. Zara, she whispered. Zara blinked. What are you doing here? Lisa stepped forward, eyes wide with pride. I came to say, the whole world's watching now. She trained in silence. But now, the world wanted a show, and someone from her past came to finish what she started. The message arrived in a silver envelope. No. Sender no name, just 5 words written in bold across the front. Public Invitational, World Broadcast. You're in. Zara stood frozen. She hadn't expected it. She had barely recovered from the last trial. She had only started. It's feeling like herself again. But this wasn't about her anymore. This was bigger. The OFER coach. Ethan met her in the hallway. He already knew. This will be live, he said. Millions watching. You don't have to say yes. Zara stared at the floor. If I don't, they'll tell my story for me. He smiled. Then let's show them the truth. A surprising CAL later that evening. Zara's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her press accept. Hello, a soft voice replied. It's Taylor. Silence. Zara didn't speak. Taylor continued. I'm not calling to fight. I'm calling to say, I want to face you again. It's time for real. No tricks, no pride, just respect. Zara's heart skipped. Yes. Are you sure? Taylor's voice cracked just a little. You changed me, Zara. I want to see how far we've both come. Social media EXPOLO DS posters of the match went viral. 2 women, 1 Matt, 1 truth. People took sides. Some cheered Zara, some doubted her. Some still laughed, but she didn't care anymore. She wasn't fighting for approval, she was fighting for purpose. The night BF Orizer walked to the empty rooftop, looked at the stars, pulled out her father's medal, and held it tight. She whispered, You told me to fight with purpose, I'm ready now. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Not from fear, from peace. The A or an A wasn't just a gym. It was a stadium. Thousands of people, flashing lights, cameras from every angle. Lisa stood in her corner. Coach Ethan gave her a firm nod. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to remember who you are. Across the mat, Taylor stood, different, now focused, humble. The bell rang. The fight began. The whole world was watching. But Zara wasn't fighting for fame. She was fighting to honor a promise. The arena went silent. Only the sound of the announcer echoed across the walls. Zara versus Taylor. 1 round. Submission only. Zara stood tall, her face calm. She wasn't nervous, not anymore. Across the mat, Taylor nodded with respect, not arrogance, no smirk. Just a fighter ready to see the truth. The first MOV. The bell rang. Taylor moved first. Quick, sharp. She grabbed for Zara's wrist, expecting hesitation, but Zara flowed with it. She had seen faster. Faced harder. She slipped under Taylor's arm, spun to the back. In one clean move, she locked in a choke. Taylor resisted. The crowd held its breath. Then, tap, the ref blew the whistle. 14 seconds. The crowd Aria Cetus. There was silence at first. Then, cheers. Explosions of sound. But Zara didn't raise her arms. She turned to Taylor, helped her up. Taylor whispered loud enough for the cameras to catch. Thank you. You made me better. Zara nodded. You too. The INTRVW reporters rushed toward her. Zara, how did you do it? What's your secret? Are you going pro? She smiled softly. I fought for someone who can't be here today. I asked who? She pulled out the medal from her pocket. My father. He trained me before he passed. He taught me that quiet doesn't mean weak. He taught me that control is stronger than anger. The LEGACY news outlets ran her story. The 14-second submission that changed everything. From mocked to master, Zara's victory shakes the martial arts world. Kids started joining classes because of her. Gyms asked her to speak. A school in her hometown even named a class after her father. 1 year, Latir Zara stood in front of a group of young girls in white belts. All nervous, all quiet, she smiled gently. They once laughed at me too. She stepped onto the mat. Let's begin.